Biscuits and gravy is one of the easiest meals, but it's so delicious. Heavy whipping cream, pork sausage, lots of pepper.
That actually sounds pretty simple. Let's find out his process. Just browning up the meat.
Gonna add some cream. This little bottle of cream, 1,600 calories. That's why I don't eat biscuits and gravy every day.
That is a lot of cream, not gonna lie. Whoa, if you look closely, that is a heavy hand's worth of pepper. That is a lot.
I got some hot dog buns. I'm gonna try to tear them up in little bits, put them in the gravy to thicken it up. Not bad at all. Now, obviously, homemade biscuits would be better, but this ain't bad for a guy who slept on the floor last night.
Literally like 4 ingredients. Let's give it a shot. Pan on. We'll open up the pork sausage.
Love that.
And get it cooking. Managing the heat, given that we're cooking over fire, is tricky, but we'll just get it all browned up. It's smoky and it's hot. Some great color on there. We'll add in the cream. Basically drowning the pork sausage in cream. Just like Luke, I'm going heavy. Now we'll throw on a whole bunch of black pepper. Bubbling over just a little bit. Gonna add in some breadcrumbs. Hopefully thicken and finish this up. Oh, it's really bubbling up. Oh boy. And we can't turn down the heat because we are using fire. I think I'm gonna call this done. Now we'll get started on the biscuits. Whoa. Rolling it into a nice strand of dough. Rolling it up on our stick. Got it all tied up so it looks like this. And we'll see if we can get it to cook. This is a lot harder than it looks. I got a lot of respect for Luke and the rest of the boys. This ain't easy. And we should be good to go. The biscuits surprisingly seem to have cooked evenly with good color, and the gravy has thickened up to a perfect consistency. Let's see how this tastes. Okay, everybody grab a piece of biscuit. Ooh, give it a nice little dip in the gravy. Whoa, it's so creamy. It's so good.
So amazing.
I've always been intimidated by making gravy. You think it requires reducing the right proportions. This is like the most simple recipe of all time. Granted, it's extremely caloric and filled with cream, so anything with cream is going to be good.
The sausage flavor in there really comes through nicely.
The addition of the pork sausage really balances nicely with the cream.
It gives it that saltiness.
My only problem with this, honestly, I think I can only eat like 2 bites of it before I feel like absolute crap. But if you're camping and it's cold, I bet you this is incredible. I think it would be like a B to A for me.
I think a B is fair.
It's a strong B.
This might be the most satisfying looking meal I've ever seen him make, the pork jowl baked beans. Starting by boiling the beans until they're nice and tender, adding in chunks of pork jowl, nice chopped up onion. Also, keep in mind, he has no cutting board. He's using a knife and he's cutting it towards himself. That is some skill. Some great looking flavors, and I think just letting it cook. Those beans are coming along. Time for the steak.
All right, we're gonna put that right on the coals. Just like the bread, the coals are gonna stick to it while it's rare. And once it's cooked, the coals will fall off.
Okay, so that's a tip I've never actually heard before. Every time I've done the caveman style, I just kind of use a thermometer and it is what it is. So we'll see if that actually works. Let's give it a shot. And we'll start off with some beautiful pork jowls. It's cured and smoked just like bacon, but the jowl comes from sort of the cheek, chin, and jaw area. Extremely rich, but packed with flavor. In the spirit of the outdoor boys, I'm gonna see if I can use his technique. Oh my gosh, this feels a little dangerous. This is a lot harder than it looks. It's so fatty and waxy, it's sliding all around. Let's get them outside to cook. Let's get these beans on. Whew. And we'll let them cook. Okay, our beans should be nice and cooked through. We'll add in the pork jowl, the onions, do a bunch of brown sugar. We'll add in the tomato paste, mustard powder, some salt, and black pepper. Now, we'll give it a nice mix and let that keep cooking. It is looking a bit thin right now, but hopefully as it cooks down, it'll kind of thicken up. We got our beans bubbling away, time for steak. And of course, we're going caveman style. That steak a flip. It's honestly not looking bad. And we'll throw down a bit of bread to go with the beans. I mean, this right here is looking like a proper outdoor boys meal. Those embers pretty easily falling off. That means our steak should be done. Beans look good. Let's head inside. All right, we should be good to go, and I'm gonna be real with you guys. This meal is looking glorious. We got that nice charred bread, our beautiful looking bone-in ribeye, and of course, what I'm hoping are some super flavorful beans. And we'll see how we did on this steak, cooked directly on coals. I mean, cooked on coals or not, that's looking pretty good. Talk about the perfect medium rare. And now I gotta do something that as a fan of the outdoor boys, I have always wanted to do. Got our bread, scoop out some of those beans, a little steak on top, and that right there is a bite. Make sure you get a good bite. A little steak, a little bit of that bread.
Unbelievable.
Unfreaking believable.
Inconceivable.
Get that char on the steak, a little bit of sweetness from the beans.
Like, cooked over a campfire or not, this is a 5-star meal. Today we're actually eating like kings.
All the flavors work really well together. You can take a bite of any of the food that they make and put it together, and they all taste good together.
I know there's gonna be a day sometime in the future when I'm like camping with my future family. I'm gonna whip this out. If you ever go camping, you need to make this.
I'd either go A or S.
I think this is an S tier.
I think this is an S.
It's another S. Next up, we have something extremely unique. Honestly, I'm not too sure about this one, but either way, it's the orange soda marinated beef tacos.
You want tacos?
Taco Friday.
Taco Friday. Marinated beef here, marinated orange soda.
Okay, seared up the beef, now adding the vegetables into that saucy mixture. Re-adding the beef, then pretty simple, just assembling those tacos.
Not gonna lie, these are pretty tasty.
We'll be the judge of that. And we'll start off with some beautiful top sirloin.
Get over there.
Now we'll slice thin at an angle,
keep
kind of
going.
mimic what he had. It looked like some sort of shaved beef situation. This is a first for me, but now we have our orange soda. And like a lot of the recipes, there is no recipe, so I'm just going for it. Also gonna throw in a bit of soy sauce, some Worcestershire, a little bit of oil, herbs, and seasoning. And we'll give it a mix. And we'll let it marinate for a few hours. With our meat marinated, time to sear. There's a lot of moisture in this marinade, so keeping the heat high to try and get some color on it. Should be all cooked up, meat out, and vegetables in. And we'll just cook them down. Back in with the meat, we'll get all those flavors combined, and let's assemble. Guac, salsa, the meat and pepper filling, and just like that, it's time to eat. It's surprisingly good.
It's another success.
This is like a very high quality weeknight meal.
It didn't have that well-roundedness that we got with the others. I probably would have put the tortilla on the fire for a couple seconds, but I love all the textures. You get those sauteed vegetables, the tortilla.
All of the components inside work really well together. I love this one too. I don't think I'd rate it as high as the others.
It doesn't have the extra that some of the other ones have, but it's very good.
A B for basic, but that doesn't mean it doesn't taste great. It's just not as cool as the other ones.
B for basic, not B for that. You guys knew this one was coming. We've made it to the tomahawk cooked over fire. Looks like he's starting with black pepper, then some salt. Interesting, so he's wrapping the steak itself in tin foil, leaving that bone exposed. Okay, he's going directly on the fire, then shoveling more coals on top of it, kind of allowing it to cook from both sides. And that looks pretty good. Just searing it directly over a campfire. It's hard not to smile looking at that. It's just a man, a giant steak. I mean, life doesn't get better than that.
Oh, that is a good steak.
Let's give this one a shot. And for this one, we've managed to get our hands on what might just be the biggest tomahawk steak I've ever seen. I mean, this thing has got to be close to 4 inches thick. But I have to say, the marbling is absolutely fantastic. And we'll hit it with a bunch of salt. Again, excessively thick cut, so it can take a lot. And we'll hit it with a bunch
Exactly
of
4
black
yards
pepper.
further.
Steak down, and we'll just wrap it up. And we'll get it on the grill. Get our steak right in the center, and we'll throw some embers on top, and we'll let it cook. And I think it should be ready to sear. Oh, wow. Just remove the tin foil. Let's give it a sear. Steak should be mostly cooked at this point. Just trying to give it a nice final sear. And just check out the crust on this steak.
You can't
I
do
have
that.
no idea what the internal temp is. It could be completely overcooked. This thing looks like it's gone to war, but that crust does look flavorful. And let's slice into it. Well, definitely closer to a medium or medium well than we would have liked, but all things considered, it's still looking pretty juicy. I'm just hoping that smoky charred flavor will outweigh the fact that it is a bit overcooked. It's hard to say anything bad about a giant tomahawk cooked over fire. I will say, I did overcook this, but it's still delicious.
It's a great steak. I don't have any negatives besides the fact that Max completely butchered it when it comes to medium rare.
There's honestly nothing I love more than steak cooked on top of a campfire. You get the smoky, you get the meaty. It's a winner, again.
It's crazy because it is such a simple thing to cook, but it can take average food and just elevate it way beyond traditional cooking methods.
Just
They
miss
should have a
that.
restaurant that does this. Maybe we should start one. A very solid A.
God.
Okay, guys, this right here is probably the one I'm most excited
I mean,
to cook. I know I
anything
said
but that
multiple of these,
would have been
but this is it. We have our moose ribs.
So
For
far
dinner,
up there.
I brought along some moose ribs. These are just 2 ribs from the moose I shot this fall.
I mean, look at the size of those ribs. They're freaking massive. Okay, seasoning them up and wrapping in foil.
You want to cook these on a low heat, very slowly.
Cooking them right
Okay.
by the fire, low and slow. Unlikely, but I hope he's using apple. A man can dream. You see how the meat is kind of peeling back from the bone? A good sign that these were probably cooked well. That actually looks pretty good. I feel like he definitely burned his mouth on that one, but that just looks so hearty and satisfying on a cold winter night. Let's give him a shot. Okay, so I couldn't find moose ribs, but I do have something just as cool. These are buffalo ribs. As you can see, they have a nice red color, but they're extremely thin. These are the exact same cut as baby back ribs from a pig. Just like Luke, we'll start by hitting this with some garlic salt and that black pepper. Throw it in tin foil and wrap it up. Get it nice and tight, and we'll get it on the fire. What I'm gonna do is kind of clear out a little area. We want low heat so these ribs can slowly break down and cook. Ribs on, and we'll let those cook. Just like that, it's been a few hours, and they should be done. I cannot wait to open these up. Oh boy. It's like we got a little bit of burning even through the tin foil, but generally speaking, I mean, they don't look half bad. We even got that separation from the bone. And we'll slice them up. I think the bone has turned into charcoal. I hope the meat's still okay. Slice right down center. These actually look pretty awesome. I can tell they're tender. They have this like shreddable texture to them. They kind of remind me of like beef back ribs. Let's see how they taste. These are actually supposed to be moose ribs. Instead, we have buffalo. Very interesting. Tender.
I love them. It's almost just like condensed beefiness in a good way.
It's missing the char flavor. Because we cooked it fully wrapped up, it didn't actually get any of those like campfire flavors. It is tender though, and if you're in a pinch cooking in the wilderness, these would absolutely hit the spot.
The way to improve this dish would be to get a little bit of a after cooking it low and slow.
But also the Outdoor Boys scale is different. Like all these things are in the upper echelon of food. But given how incredible some of his other dishes are, it's getting a C. Super pumped up about this one. Next up, it's the campfire prime rib roast.
Luke here at the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, and today I'm going to make the ultimate prime rib roast Christmas dinner. And I'm going to do it over a campfire in a snowstorm. I'm going to show you a super easy way to do it. It's a technique called sous vide.
It says sous vide, but there's obviously no electricity out in the wild. How is he going to do this?
There we go, that looks well seasoned. Now we're going to turn this up to redneck level 1000 here. We are going to put this whole thing in a garbage bag.
Oh, I don't know what I was expecting, but this is not it.
Garbage bags and cling wrap don't melt until 200 degrees. We're going to sous vide bath at 140, so it's good.
I mean, he has a point. Technically, it should work.
All right, we got the water boiling. You want to be able to put your whole hand in like this and hold it for about the count of 1 or 2 before it hurts. And that puts you at about 150, 140.
Not necessary for us, but he actually sous vide that overnight. It's crazy. All sorts of tasty looking sides. This is a full on. That right there is an insane plate of food. Let's see what we can do. And starting off with a beautiful prime rib. Just like any time I cook a prime rib, I'm gonna find that first seam here and just using my hand, pull it back like so. Here, just kind of slice, peeling it away. Probably the most underrated prime rib tip. I'm telling you, getting rid of the silver skin just leads to a way better final product. And we'll season it liberally with salt and black pepper. We'll hit it with the mustard, and then all pat it in. On with the herbs. Kind of just threw them on there like this. Just what it looks like. And yes, guys, we're gonna actually try cooking this in a trash bag. To be honest, I have no idea if this is food safe. I assume it won't melt, but there's only one way to find out. And we'll just gently place our beautiful prime rib in the trash bag. That's not something you hear every day. We are all bagged up. We got our tub of heated water. We'll add in more boiled water. See how hot it is? Okay, I can leave my finger in there for about 2 seconds, which means it should be around 130, 140 Fahrenheit. And in with the prime rib. This is like the ultimate dichotomy. We have one of the most premium cuts of meat in the world, cooked in a trash bag in a flimsy bin of hot water. We'll give it a few hours and see if this works. And just like that, it has been 5 full hours. We've been adding hot water to keep it nice and toasty, which means I'm hoping it should be ready to sear. It appears as though the bag has maintained its seal, so all things considered, I'm feeling pretty good about this. But I will say it does feel very rare. I hope it's mostly cooked, but either way, let's get it on the fire. And now I'm gonna basically try searing right on top of the fire. Oh, that is quite the sight. And let's see if we can flip it. Oh wow, it's actually a pretty nice looking crust. I think I found the perfect searing zone. It looks like we're getting super consistent fire on it. This is working out better than I ever could have hoped. Color on this is just looking absolutely beautiful. I think it's ready to come off. And just take a look at this prime rib. I mean, cooked in a trash bag, then thrown over a fire or not, this looks absolutely stunning. But what matters most is what's going on the inside. Time for the moment of truth. I mean, it's definitely pretty rare, but that to me is looking perfect. So juicy, just edge to edge pink. Honestly, it doesn't get much better. I mean, you guys let me know down in the comments, is this rare, overcooked, undercooked, completely raw? I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. And what we're left with is the Outdoor Boys prime rib roast Christmas dinner, cooked over a campfire. We got the sauce, the carrots, the fire-baked potato. I'm not much of a Brussels sprouts guy, but covered in bacon, it's gotta be good.
Trash bag prime rib.
It's also June, but we're having a Christmas dinner, so enjoy. The char flavor is what takes it over the top. I don't even taste the trash bag. It's because we finished it over fire.
And those sides, though, like a baked potato cooked inside of a fire, just tastes better.
I actually really like Brussels sprouts. Bacon definitely makes it better. This is better than restaurant prime rib because it has that campfire flavor to it.
This would really be the perfect Christmas.
Grills are out, campfires are in. It's just night and day. Not only can Luke survive in any terrain, he can go.
This has to be an S. It has to be an S. It's the best prime rib dinner I think we've ever had.
I agree. I think this is an S.
Straight up, this is some of the best food we've had on the channel. I can't stop eating it. I'm so full, I can't stop. Huge shout out to Outdoor Boys for the constant inspiration over the years. Something tells me we haven't seen the last of them. And thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Jet.
Today we're making the internet's most viral steaks from YouTube's greatest chefs. From a 100-hour brisket to a $1,000 honey-soaked ribeye to steak creations that have somehow garnered over 1 billion views, we'll be ranking each to find out which internet chef is the steak king. Let's get started. And starting out with Joshua Weissman's 5.4 million view MSG butter steak. But keep in mind that as the video goes on, it will get progressively crazy. Adding MSG to butter sounds genius. I've never tried it before. Let's see how it is.
I wanted your food to taste so good that it makes people cry.
I have.
So close the garlic grating.
Everything's
They're
so
always
aggressive.
optional. Just so you know.
This whole cooking thing doesn't work out. You should always start singing that. That wasn't bad. Okay, finally the steak is out. That looks amazing.
Good.
Let's find out if this is actually good. We're of course starting off with a jumbo tomahawk. Keep the seasoning simple with a bunch of kosher salt, going heavy, getting both sides. And of course, some black pepper. We'll get this on the grill and get started on the butter. We're gonna very aggressively throw that in. And with the parsley, the garlic, we'll chop up the chili, and of course the most important ingredient, and we'll mix it up. I have to say at this point it looks and smells amazing. We'll plop it down and roll it out. And we'll get it in the fridge. And got it nice and refrigerated, time to slice. Check out the marbling on that. I have to say it looks beautiful. Now instead of throwing the butter on top of the steak, I actually like to place the compound butter below the steak to protect that upper crust. And then just allow that hot steak to melt into that butter.
I love me some steak.
Ooh, that is a buttery steak. That looks very flavorful.
Oh mama.
That's insane.
Right? You got a little bit of heat and there's something extra going on. It's gotta be the MSG.
It is a huge umami bomb with smokiness, with char. I've never tasted anything like that.
Is it gonna make you cry?
Unbelievable flavor in that butter. Then you get the garlic and the herbs and a little bit of spice and I guess MSG. And it's like the most incredible bite of steak ever.
There's no way this is healthy, but like, it is mind-blowingly good.
I don't think it's S. Honestly, I would say like A or B.
Starting off incredibly hot, a very solid A for Joshua Weiss. With nearly 11 million views, you knew Guga would be on this list. I cooked a brisket for a month and this happened. Let's see what happened.
So let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so far, pretty standard, trimming up the brisket. He's doing it at 130, 131 Fahrenheit, which I think is perfect. That's essentially as low as you can go while still maintaining pasteurization. And if you're sous videing for such an extended period of time, you do want to go low so it doesn't completely overcook. There's a lot of moisture coming out of there. Evidently, things did not go well here.
Okay.
It smells like a baby
Ah,
inside of your car, and it was left over
It's
for days on the sun.
Looks like he's throwing it on the smoker to achieve a little bit of smoky flavor. At least visually, this is looking pretty good. Okay, I mean, it is just completely falling apart. Does not pass the bend test. I really want to see how this tastes.
It is completely unedible. I cannot stress enough again, don't try this at home.
With all that being said, let's do it. And starting off with a whole brisket. Now we are gonna make a few adjustments to Guga's video to see if we can make this thing up. Start by hitting it with a little Worcestershire binder, getting both sides. Even though we're not cooking this one traditional, we are gonna do so with the seasonings. It's a big cut of meat, so we're going heavy. And I'll see if I can get this baby into a sous vide bag. Just like that, got it double bagged up just to be safe. And let's whip out the hot
Whatever.
tub.
I'm gonna do it.
Only cooking to 130 Fahrenheit.
We gonna do
so this
it.
plastic bin should be okay, and we also have 2 sous vides for the job. And in with the brisket. Now, here's the thing. We are not going to cook this for 31 days. We already know what's gonna happen if we do that.
It is bad, bad, bad.
Still want to try and push the boundaries. We're gonna see what happens if we sous vide this for 100 full hours. I've never done that before. I've never even seen it done before. So honestly, I have no idea what's about to happen. It is Friday at 11 a.m. What this means is that I'll see you guys at some point on Tuesday afternoon. See you guys in 100 hours. I cannot believe the day is here. It has officially been exactly 102 hours. Let's see what we got. I really hope this thing is still edible. This thing feels so tender, debatably too tender. The moment of truth to see if it's rotten, that actually smells great. On second thought, apparently everybody else in this room thinks this smells funky and not in a good way. Personally, I think it just smells like cooked beef. We'll have to see if this thing's still edible. So much liquid coming out of this thing after
Okay,
those 4 days. And this is what she's looking for. You see how it's gone a lot smaller in size? Most of that due to this insane amount of liquid that's come out of it. I'm gonna pat this thing as dry as possible, but we just had a third person walk into this room and say that it smells extremely cheesy. And the more it's here, the more I can kind of see what they're saying. I have no idea if this is rotten, but we're gonna move forward. Time to get it on the smoker, and I know it doesn't look that good right now.
But watch this.
All right, guys, 4
This wasn't a
additional
good
hours
cut
of
at all.
smoke, and I can't lie, it's looking absolutely incredible. This
It's
brisket has
embarrassing
never gone
bad.
over 130 degrees Fahrenheit, which technically means it
that's
should
awful.
be medium rare. The only thing left to do is slice
Ah!
it. Wow, I can tell it is definitely tender.
Damn it.
So strange. That is a 100-hour medium rare
Definitely
internal
had it
brisket.
there.
Is it juicy? Yes, it is, but it's just weird that it's red. You just don't normally see this on a brisket. Now I'll take some slices of the flat. This is usually very dry and difficult to cook correctly. It has a very different texture than I'm used to. It's most certainly not falling apart, something I was very worried about given how long we cooked
Okay.
it. See if it passes the bend test.
Damn.
That is perfect. The only thing left to do is see how it tastes.
Is this rotten?
Don't judge a book by its
Trash.
It smells like something went wrong.
Can we agree I put you guys through way worse? Let's look back in time. There was the opossum. There was the turtle egg.
It popped.
Pause.
Burger made out of bugs.
Oh, there was the bug burger. Kyle, take a bite. You're gonna enjoy this.
It's so soft.
It's definitely too soft.
It's mush.
But it's medium rare.
And it's not raw.
It tastes like someone pre-chewed some brisket and put it in my mouth.
It's like what the birds do for their babies.
It's like pate, but drier.
All-time worst texture I've had on meat right there.
It's clear from Guga that 30 days is way too long, and I think with this one, 4 days is also pushing it. It's just a little too much.
I'll give it an F-.
I'd give it a D+.
Unfortunately, today it's going to be a D for Guga, but Guga, you know I love you. We have made it to the one and only Binging with Babish. 22 million views on his Jake's Perfect Sandwich from Adventure Time. Okay, starting off relatively tame sous vide steak, I can get behind this. Okay, it looks like he's deboning the Cornish game hen.
If you're gonna try this at home, just use a couple chicken thighs or something.
I already know that we're doing the real deal with this one. Okay, so steak and chicken, I understand, but now we're adding lobster to the mix.
Cornish game hen that I'm going to throw in the broiler for about 10 minutes.
I kind of feel like that hen needs a bit more color to get the skin crispy.
I'm gonna rub a bunch of stingy stuff in my eyes until finally I yield a drop of salty face water.
Apparently I need to harvest my own tears for this one. I guess there's a first for everything.
A bird from the window, cucumbers sliced thinly, laying our steak on top. This thing's starting to get a little precarious. Some real teardrops for salt, and of course about a half pound of bacon.
Bacon does make everything better, so I can at least understand that.
How do you
I
not
can't
know,
lie, it's
Ian?
pretty epic. Let's give it a shot. And it all starts off with a beautiful steak. And we'll hit it with
You
some
never
salt
go in.
and black pepper. Into the sous vide bag, herbs
never
in,
go in
and
for
we'll
me.
see. 135 Fahrenheit for, what are you doing? 135 Fahrenheit in the sous vide. And let's debone this Cornish hen. I've deboned plenty of chickens on this channel, never one this small. Let's see how this goes. Okay, yeah, this is significantly harder than doing it with the chicken. Everything is just on a microscopic level. Just absolutely manhandling this poor guy. That was not easy. Oh, we still got a little wishbone attached here. All right, Sophia, if you win, we're gonna choose one person down in the comments, 5 free bags of jerky. How does this keep happening? You guess someone's getting lucky? Comment down below. Be able to season it simply with salt. Making sure to get both sides of that completely boneless Cornish hen. Now, instead of roasting this, we're actually going to try deep frying it to get better color. That is the color we're looking for. And time for the lobster tail.
Making lobster aioli.
So we actually don't need any of the lobster meat itself. We only need the shell. Perfect opportunity to see if I still got it. Kyle, what do you think the chances are I can slice this perfectly in half with the cleaver?
Actually, 0. There's 0 chance of getting it.
3, 2, 1. Look at this, Kyle. That thing is perfectly in half. It hit my shoe and it hit the wall. Pretty good. Maine lobster is way better though. Shell into a blender,
Where I wanted
add
to
some
be,
oil, and we'll blend that up. You already know I gotta go for a sip of that fresh steaming. Why is it steaming? Why is it steaming? That's the good stuff. Into a pot, and we'll cook it down. And now for by far the most difficult step of the day. I apparently now need to try and extract some tears. So we're gonna start with some onion. This is not something I suggest anyone does at home. Oh, wow. Pat, don't ask questions. Pat just walked in the room. Wow. This is insanely painful. Babish, you are a psychopath. I love it.
I don't really understand why it broke so
Did I get one?
much.
We got one drop.
Screwed me.
See that?
I did not see that much break.
We'll start with the cream cheese on both sides, pickles on one side, fresh dill on the other, hard-boiled
Gotta get
eggs
going.
over the pickles, bird nestled on
Maybe
top,
about 4 out of
almost like
5.
he laid those eggs. Next up, some
Nice.
cucumber, the sweet onion. It's getting ridiculous, but the tomato goes on top of that. Next up, the sous vide steak we've also seared. For the salt, we need our teardrop, our giant stack of bacon, and some of that lobster shell aioli that we made with the lobster right over all that dill. Close it up, and that right there is a sandwich. This has given me major flashbacks to the last time we recreated one of Benjamin Babish's sandwiches. No idea if this is sliceable. We'll give it a shot. Okay. Ta-da! Right idea, Sophia. This is definitely a glove situation.
It looks like he took
was above
about
average.
6 different dinners, threw it under a bun, and I guess that's what you kind of did
Is
do.
what we did.
It's actually amazing.
I love it.
Really good. I love the bacon. I love the dill.
Textures, flavors.
Genuinely, it's an amazing sandwich. It's obviously stunt food, but it actually works.
I'm not gonna say it's all because of my teardrop, but I'm not gonna say it's not because of my teardrop.
I completely forgot that you put a teardrop on this.
I think this needs to be in the S tier.
I was going to say the same.
That right there is incredible and quite easily the most shocking S tier meat dish that we'll ever see. And we have made it to the one and only Nick DiGiovanni with his 44 million view ultimate steak crust.
I recently saw this video of a seared duck breast. But what if we cook a regular steak that way?
Okay, first of all, Nick, you gotta choose a steak with better marbling.
Now into a pan with some oil.
That is a lot of oil. Okay, the crust does look pretty good, but I really hope he didn't overcook.
That's the best crust I've ever had. If you do this, I'd use a thicker steak. It's a little overcooked.
A little may be an understatement. Let's try it out first. Okay, guys, I know I was sort of talking smack about Nick's steak. Ours doesn't look that much better, but at least it's pretty thick and has decent marble. Just like Nick said, I'll start by scoring one way like so. And I will come across the other angle, and I think that looks pretty good. I'll season with Osmo, just like he said. And it's time to sear. Oil in, then we'll add the Nick DiGiovanni special steak crust steak, followed by a regular control steak to see which one's best. Let's throw in a bit more oil. We use a lot. Give it a flip. Wow, that is actually looking incredible. Almost looks like a perfectly seared duck breast. Both the crusts look great at this point. I actually don't know which one's gonna taste better. And here we have the ultimate steak crust. Super dark mahogany color. It's looking very good, specifically on the outer layers there. Though I will say within the slices, it's a little bit gray. We'll have to see how that affects the flavor. That is what I'm talking about. I'm happy to see that what we did to the exterior doesn't seem to have affected the cook on the steak. I mean, it looks perfect. And of course, we have our regular control steak. You've seen this one before, and like always, it is stunning. All right, guys, we'll start with this steak right here.
That's a good steak.
It's like a perfect steak.
What do you guys think about the crust?
Perfect.
Now let's move on to number 2.
It looks like a duck breast.
I like this one better.
I like that it's actually crunchy. Like the corners of the slits are crispy like a chip.
It's a very pronounced crust, and you kind of get it in every bite.
I bit the crust like 3 times.
It's safe to say that that is actually a significantly better steak. I think we got to put this in A tier. It's worth trying. We have made it to Chef Uso. It's 2 pounds of salt on 2 pounds steak with 69 million views. This is my kind of video.
How much salt is too much salt? Salt in the bowl?
Do I really have to crack the egg with my mouth? Oh, he ate the egg too. To be fair, this is the guy who ate some raw beef fat with me.
Basically want to season with everything besides salt.
That makes sense. We are adding a lot of salt here. So he's going with 2 steaks on top of each other. I feel like I'm just going to go with a full, big 2-pound steak. It just makes more sense. Whoa, looks like a rock. Nice looking crust. This one should be very interesting. Let's find out for ourselves. Starting with a big boy ribeye. I mean, this thing is closer to a prime rib than a steak. That is thick. So we started by seasoning with an herbaceous rub, but the key here is not adding any salt at this stage. Also hit it heavy with a bunch of garlic and onion powder. And time for salt. This is extremely unnecessary, but you gotta keep it authentic. Why does that man do the things he does? You want just the egg white, and a little bit of shell in there. Okay. And this stuff is also extremely unnecessary, but once again, we gotta keep it authentic. And let's give it a mix. We've reached a really nice, almost clay cement-like texture. It should be perfect. Does anyone remember George the Snowman? But every snowman must eventually meet his end. He's back. Sorry, brother. Layer 1 down with the steak, and we'll completely cover the steak. And into the
Way
smoke.
better now.
Just like that, it should be done. Let's crack into it. Whew. And let's sear. At this stage, it's essentially been steamed, so this step is critical in achieving a crust. Let's slice into it. Maybe a bit closer to medium than medium rare. That is a pretty nice edge-to-edge doneness, all things considered. It's actually amazing.
I love the herbs.
Very strong herb flavor.
Perfect seasoning mix.
This is something we've done before, and the way we describe it is fully seasoned. You'd think it'd be way too salty, but for whatever reason, when you salt crust something, it just brings out the flavor the best way possible, and it actually works.
And it really allows you to get a good crust on the outside too, because that salt has just dry brined the exterior. This is incredible.
1, 2,
In
3.
between clothes.
Hey.
Give it back a little bit.
All right, the people have spoken. We're going with a B. Let's move on.
With 70 million views, we have the 7-day honey cured steak from Max the. Wait, that's me. Let's revisit our 7-day honey cured steak. The key was seasoning before the honey, heavy with salt and pepper. That was actually just a prime grade porterhouse. It wasn't Wagyu, but the marble was crazy.
Oh, shit.
Seasoned again. Now I know you guys watching this think that steak
Oh,
was
it was a
just
little
way
short. It was a
too
little
sweet. There's
short.
no way it tasted good.
Worked out.
I promise you, it was absolutely phenomenal. But this time, you already know we gotta take it to the next level. This is a massive Wagyu A5 ribeye. It's gotta be like 5 pounds, and the marbling is ridiculous. First thing we need to do is season it heavily with salt, giving it a few hours to penetrate. This is critical to balance out the sweetness. And now let's assemble the honey, and we'll need a lot of it. No clue if this is gonna be worth it, but just adding in some freshly shaved black truffle, followed by some dehydrated black truffle, and I'll give it a mix. And just like that, we're left with some stunning truffle honey. And it has been 6 full hours of dry brining, and it's crazy because it doesn't even seem like that salt has penetrated at all. It's completely dry to the touch, but there's so much fat, I think the salt has had a hard time actually absorbing. We'll have to see if that salt flavor comes through by the time this is done. But either way, steak in, and we'll cover in a sweet cocoon of that truffle honey, coating all sides. And we'll let this cure for a few days. I will see you in a few days. Hope you guys have a good time. All right, guys, we let this one go for a full 7 days. That is 168 hours. Time to check on that Wagyu A5. Let's see if I can get this out. Oh man, it is so thick. This is crazy. The honey is cold at this point, so it is so much thicker than usual. But it doesn't have any off smells or anything like that, so hopes are high. I'll just remove the excess. And this is so weird. It feels like a dry brined or like a dry aged steak. I know this thing is going to be sweet, so even though we already seasoned once, I'm going to hit it again with a bunch of kosher salt, and we'll finish with black pepper. I am just really praying that this is not a 7-day, $1,000 disaster, but either way, let's get it on the grill. And we'll start it on the cool side to slowly smoke and bring up that temp. We've reached 125 internal. Let's now shift to the hot side for just a lick of flames, and we're left with an absolute beauty. I mean, the color is just perfect. And slicing into it, we have what looks like a nice medium rare, but still decent rendering on the excessive amount of